have opportunities to not only go out and maybe see some of this on their own, but actually make sure that they're having hands-on experience.
How new grant funding is helping students in Logan prepare for their future.
This election affects the whole country and also the world. So get up and go.
Plus, we are 20 days away from the November election. We take a look at two rulings that could have major implications on early voting in Ohio and across the country.
And in sports, Ohio football faces arch rival Miami on Saturday. How the team is looking to bring home a win. Newswatch starts right now. Good evening, I'm Sullivan Beach.
And I'm Natalie Davitt. Thanks for joining us. It has been a cold week so far here in Southeast Ohio, but that could all change come this weekend.
For more, let's toss it over to forecaster Rachel Grant. Rachel, when can we see a warm-up?
We are expecting a warm-up to come starting tomorrow, actually, but for right now we're still dealing with this cold. We just saw this rain passing through us last night, a little bit into this morning, but most of that has cleared by now. We're mostly seeing some clouds here or there from the rain, but we're looking over here a little bit to the west. We're seeing this high pressure system developing to the west of us. That's what's going to move through going into tonight and even into tomorrow, and that's what's going to bring us these warmer temps. Closer look at what's happening. We're going to see a little bit of rain to the east of us here, and it's really light rain for them, so it's not moving toward us at all within the next few hours, and all that will clear before night comes. So we're not really going to be expecting any rain for tonight, just mostly clouds for our evening. Currently now we're going to see 49 degrees and mostly cloudy skies, and these clouds will be sticking around into tonight with that low of 33. We'll talk more about what to expect for tomorrow going into my weather forecast. For now, we're going back to Sullivan.
Thanks, Rachel. The Circleville Pumpkin Show kicks off tonight. Here's a live look at the event, which some say may be another record-setting year despite this fall's history drought. Local pumpkin farmers say they have tuned in to other water sources and shaders to help keep their hopeful winners alive. The Ohio State record for the largest pumpkin was set last year. The couple who grew the 23,000-pound winner says their record may be broken. The Circleville Pumpkin Show runs through Saturday. And a new resource for local homeowners in Southeast Ohio. Habitat for Humanity Southeast Ohio opened its new home repair training today. The Millfield Center provides classes about basic home repairs such as plumbing and electrical work. Center Coordinator Molly Blair believes these classes provide more than just home repair tips.
One important thing about these workshops is that they give a sense of confidence. There are some people coming to these workshops that have never used a drill, never used a saw, and giving people that experience and that confidence, I think, is invaluable.
Workshops every Tuesday, they cost $30 per workshop. And for more information, you can visit the website on your screen.
Logan High School receives millions to help improve its agricultural and engineering programs. Newswatch reporter Rosie Wong joins us live from the school with more. Rosie, how is the grant helping support students in Logan?
Natalie, Logan High School is getting over $1 million in this latest round of grants from Ohio's Department of Education. School officials say with this money, they hope to provide more learning opportunities, helping students plan their future. Wyatt Lambert is a student in the agriculture and engineering programs at Logan High School. He says growing up farming with his family is the reason he's here today.
It was probably riding on the tractor, baling hay. It was just kind of like that. I could do this.
To support students like him who want to focus on hands-on work, the school is using the more than $1 million in grant funds from the state for upgrades to its agriculture and engineering programs. The money will go toward renovating its greenhouse, restructuring the workspace, and improving its welding and fabrication systems, among others. School officials say the upgrades will benefit more than 200 students once it's all complete. Talon Alford is a student in the engineering program. He already knows what he'll do after he graduates in 2026. And he says the program at Logan will help him achieve his goals.
Welding is one of the things I want to learn for my future job at Local 18, operating heavy machinery. and having welding under my belt will help me get into that job.
While trying to keep up with technologies, Director of Student Programs at Logan Hawking Schools, Bryce Frazier, says the school wants students to make the most of their time here.
We want to make sure the kids have opportunities to not only go out and maybe see some of this on their own, but actually make sure that they're having hands-on experiences with that in the high school as part of their daily curriculum.
Students in these programs can choose to either go to college or work in the industry after high school. Bryce says the school has 2 years to make and implement their upgrades to the programs. Reporting for Newswatch, I'm Rosie Wong, live in Logan.
A new program in Ohio aims to help young people experiencing behavioral health issues. The Mobile Response and Stabilization Services sends clinicians and caseworkers to a young person's home or school. It's an effective option that doesn't rely on taking a kid to the ER or involve police. The number of young people hospitalized for anxiety and depression has more than doubled since 2016. The program should be available statewide by next year. Traffic crashes in Ohio are down significantly since the enforcement of Ohio's tougher distracted driving law. That is, according to preliminary data from the Ohio State Highway Patrol. It suggests approximately 1,100 fewer distracted driving crashes since stepped-up enforcement started last October. Fatal crashes because of distracted driving dropped more than 19%. The law prevents all drivers from using or holding a cell phone or device while driving.
Federal election monitors are in Portage County after the sheriff was accused of intimidating voters. The Justice Department says it is monitoring the county's compliance with federal voting rights laws early voting on Election Day. The Portage County Sheriff's Office says monitoring is being done nationwide and is not unique in Portage County. The DOJ's move comes after voters raised concerns after the county sheriff posted on social media. The post targeted people with yard signs supporting Vice President Kamala Harris. That post was later taken down. And the Ohio Supreme Court upholds an order which says voters can't assist other voters putting their ballots into a secure ballot drop box. The court ruled the lawsuit against the Ohio Secretary of State's order was filed too late to avoid impacting early vote in the state. The decision means people assisting voters will now have to sign paperwork at their local Board of Elections offices saying they're authorized to drop off ballots. And Election Day may be around 20 days away, but early voting here in Ohio and across the country is already underway. In the critical battleground state of Georgia, early voting began yesterday.
This, as some conservative activists argue, county officials have the legal right to reject results based on a suspicion of fraud or abuse. But a state judge says that that's not the case. Cheryl Hubbard has the latest on the situation and the record-breaking first day of early voting.
In some parts of Georgia, the long lines formed before daybreak. In Canton, Georgia, this line of cars seemed to stretch as far as the eye could see. Beginning Tuesday, voters were able to head to the ballot box in the state, and show up they did, en masse.
This election affects the whole country and also the world. So get up and get out there and vote.
Georgia, a swing state, plays a crucial role in who will take the White House in November's tightly contested presidential election between former President Donald Trump.
Well, we have to beat her. Look, we
do.
have to beat her. She's not for this job.
And Vice President Kamala Harris.
Donald Trump is increasingly unstable and unhinged.
According to Georgia state election officials, votes cast exceeded 250,000 by late afternoon. Georgia Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger laid out his goal for this election cycle.
It's going to be free, it's going to be fair, and it's going to be fast. And we think that's really important.
In the razor-thin 2020 presidential race, a statewide audit had to be performed to debunk claims of widespread election fraud or irregularities. This year, some constituents say they're doing their parts to ensure that they are counted.
Last time I waited, line going around the block, around the corner. Now I'm getting my vote in today.
I'm Cheryl Hubbard reporting.
There's a new campaign destination this election for both former President Trump and Vice President Harris: podcasts. Podcasts have grown in popularity over the years, according to a Pew Research and survey that shows that 2/3 of adults under 30 listened to a podcast in 2022. And even though many don't go to podcasts for their news, they appear to trust what they are hearing. 87% say they expect the information on their podcast to be mostly accurate.
We will continue to work this issue until we reach our goal of 0 significant safety events.
Coming up, federal investigators open an investigation into recent close calls at airports across the country, the impact this could have on the safety of air travel.
And the holiday season is quickly approaching. What realtors are expecting to see from this year's shoppers?
It's feeling more like fall now, but will that continue going into this week? Stay tuned to see my the forecast when Newswatch returns.
This is the moment we've been waiting for.
This is crazy. It's a crocodile.
Just going.
Insane situation at the moment. It's absolute chaos.
There's something going on. There's another leopard. He's got the cub.
Tonight at 8 on WOUB.
I hear the echoes all through the meadows. Breathe in and let go. That sweet surrender. I've been running all through the night. You can knock me down, but I've got my will to survive. Rise up, rise up, rise up.
Together, we can make real change happen.
On Nova, solar system.
We see huge volcanic eruptions blasting out into space. Volcanoes that can get that big that it can tip a planet.
These volcanoes can help answer that question of where you and I came from, how life first began.
Volcano Worlds on Nova.
Tonight at 9 on WOUB.
Breaking news out of Argentina tonight. Just in the last hour, officials announced former One Direction singer Liam Payne has died at the age of 31.
Local officials in Buenos Aires say Payne died after falling from a third-floor hotel balcony. The band, which also included Harry Styles, Zayn Malik, Louis Tomlinson, and Niall Horan, first formed in 2010. One Direction announced they were taking a hiatus in 2015.
Officials declined to answer further questions about the incident, including whether Payne jumped from the balcony or fell by accident.
All right, good evening and happy Wednesday. We are starting off today on a more rainier note. Might have seen some showers early this morning, but most of that has cleared out. We're seeing a little bit of rain move past us again, so might be seeing some clouds throughout today. We're also seeing this high pressure system developing in the west. That'll really impact us going into tomorrow and this weekend. But a closer look at what is happening now. We're seeing a little bit of rain developing to the east of us, but it's light showers for those people, and the rain is not moving toward us. So we're really not seeing any rain coming our way anytime soon. Mostly just going to see some clouds going into tonight and this evening. Along with this, clouds, it's starting to feel more like fall as well. We're seeing temperature ranges from the 30s all the way up to the mid-50s. So definitely feeling more like fall, but that won't be sticking around, unfortunately. Today we had a high of 55 degrees, partly sunny skies, and those clouds will continue into tonight with that low of 33 degrees. And with this low actually being so low, most of us are under either a frost advisory or a freeze warning. Most of us to the east are under this frost advisory, while most people living to the west of Athens are under this freeze warning. Both are in effect from 2 a.m. to 9 a.m. tonight going into tomorrow morning. So if you have any outdoor plants, indoor plants near any windowsills or any pumpkins, given it is spooky season. Tonight's a really good night to bring them in and protect them from that cold. As for tomorrow, we won't be really feeling the cold that much. We're seeing a high of 62 tomorrow and mostly sunny skies. Here's a closer look at what we're actually expecting. We're seeing two high pressure systems forming, one from the west and one from the north. That'll help bring us some clear skies, some sunshine, and some warmer weather. And those high pressure systems will stick around for tonight or for tomorrow night as well, with this moving to the east. And as for Friday, we're seeing two high pressure systems again. Here's our 3-day outlook. High of 62 tomorrow and mostly sunny skies. Those sunny skies will be continuing into this weekend with the high of 68 and low of 35. As for Saturday, we'll be seeing a high of 73 degrees, and that will continue into the weekend, starting the weekend on a more warmer note, and continuing that into Monday with a high of 75 Sunday going into Tuesday. As for Wednesday, we might be seeing a little bit of showers just to start off the midday of just for the middle of the week. So mostly seeing some nicer weather coming our way. And we're not really going to be feeling any of the fall weather for the next week. So
yeah, I feel like I'm kind of happy about that. I like the cold weather right now to get the fall vibes kind of going, but also I'm starting to miss the summer weather a little bit. So we'll have to stand by on that and see what ends up happening with the weather. But I don't know about you guys feel about that, but also my roommate in my apartment too has been turning down the AC right now while it's still cold out, and it makes me so mad. So I don't know if you guys have ever experienced that, but so now to another story here. A number of key U.S. supply issues stemming from Hurricanes Helene and Milton are having major impacts on people across the country. Amy Kiley has details on how federal officials are trying to help.
After not one, but two recent hurricanes, the U.S. faces some shortages. The Biden administration is invoking the Defense Production Act because the nation's IV fluid supply is critically low. Its biggest producer is in hurricane-ravaged North Carolina. In Florida, officials say they're working with ports to restore the fuel supply.
We have now dispensed, just from the state, over 2.5 million gallons of gas free to the people of Florida.
Meanwhile, the Small Business Administration's disaster loan program is out of money. Officials say that's after about 49,000 recent applications. People can still apply, and Congress can approve more funds after its recess. FEMA says it has enough money for now, but
the ongoing spread of misinformation about operations is not okay. It has got to stop.
The agency says false rumors are making it harder to get relief funds to hurricane survivors.
We don't know how many people are not going to apply for FEMA because they have heard misinformation about FEMA taking their property or other wild accusations that are out there.
I'm Amy Kiley reporting.
Dozens of U.S. airports are at the center of a safety audit by federal regulators. The Federal Aviation Administration is looking into the growing number of close and tarmac collisions at airports over the past 2 years. While some investigations into the incidents found pilots and air traffic controllers were at fault. The FAA's new probe will focus on operational procedures and processes and how equipment is used.
We'll continue to work this issue until we reach our goal of 0 significant safety events.
The agency says it will make new recommendations to improve safety once the audit is complete. Retailers expect holiday sales will hit a new record, but at a slower pace than last year. The National Retail Federation says consumers will spend around $990 billion in November and December, with sales growth slightly lower than last year's holiday growth. Experts say that is because consumers continue to deal with higher prices and other reasons to spend. Catherine Cohen, Vice President of Industry and Consumer Insights for NRF, says growth is more in line with pre-pandemic numbers because consumers have other outlets for spending.
They're spending on travel, they're spending on dining out, as well as other services in their lives. And as a result, they're moderating their spending on goods. They're returning to how they used to spend on things like apparel, on home goods.
Retailers expect deliberate consumers focused on value. So stores have already started sales and will roll out discounts and deals throughout the season.
Next in sports, we are yet another day closer to the Battle of the Bricks rivalry on Saturday. Check out how Miami's done so far this season and hear from their head coach and more when we come back.
Let's start at the beginning, shall we? I can't wait.
People will be watching your every move. I can handle it. Let's go.
So, what's your secret?
Things are starting to move in the right direction.
Tell us everything.
Are you ready for more? Just getting started. Locked on the target. Are you ready for more?
No one is going to tell me who I can or can't be. Troubles, honey, like you wouldn't believe. Hop in. Every day, I see the evidence of all that love can do.
Whatever happens, we'll be together.
There's nowhere else in the world I'd rather be. This was perfect.
WOUB is recognizing members of our Cornerstone Society. The Cornerstone Society is a group that wants to ensure the future of public media in our region. It includes people across our area who value news, entertainment, and cultural programming, as well as the educational services WOUB provides. Also included are graduates of Ohio University who took part in the WOUB Student Professional Development Program. Thanks to the Cornerstone Society for their generous support. To learn how you can be involved, email woub@woub.org.
We've been having a practice round every day and prepping for states.
I'm feeling ecstatic, bro.
I go into competition mode and I really lock in.
Mario has been MIA for about a month.
I'm defending human rights, I'm defending abortion, I'm defending the rights of immigrants.
I'm glad to be in his group, but we kind of butt heads.
I think we have what it takes to win this thing.
Tuesday at 9 on WOUB.
Closer to the very special 100th edition of the Battle of the Bricks rivalry between Ohio and Miami University. The Miami Redhawks came into this season with wildly high expectations, and they haven't quite lived up to them. Miami started its season off 0-3 and started MAC play with the loss to Toledo at home. Things may be looking up, though, as the Redhawks had their best game of the season last week against Eastern Michigan, winning by a whopping score of 38-14. Head coach Chuck Martins knows to stay in the win column this week, they're going to have to limit the legs of Ohio's star quarterback, Parker Navarro. Ohio already has 4 of the 6 wins needed for bowl eligibility, so it's time to start tracking where the Bobcats may end up. By far, the most popular destination picked by the national media is the Salute to Veterans Bowl in Montgomery, Alabama in mid-December. Still a ways to go towards bowl season. If you haven't been paying attention, it's time to start keeping an eye on Ohio soccer, as they now tied for first in the MAC with just a mere 2 weeks left until the MAC tournament. The Bobcats are back at home tomorrow against Toledo, and all eyes will be on sophomore Jamison Brooker. Now, Brooker scored a brace at Ball State on Sunday, providing Ohio its only 2 goals en route to a 2-1 victory, putting the Bobcats at the top of the MAC standings. The 3-game win streak for the Bobcats has them tied with Western Michigan and at the top of the table. Now, not only would a first-place finish mean Ohio wins the MAC regular season title, it would also bring the MAC semifinals and championship game right here to Athens in November. Still have a little bit of time before we find out if Ohio will be hosting with 4 games left in the regular season. A major decider will be next week's matchup against Buffalo, who's also near the top of the standings, as you see on your screen. Now, if you're wondering where Western Michigan is in terms of their schedule, they drew with Ohio back in September on September 19th. Ohio volleyball will be back in action Friday night against Ball State, but a member of the team received a very high honor in the volleyball world this afternoon. Assistant coach Kenzie Brinkman was named to the AVCA's 30 under 30 list, similar to Forbes' list, recognizing individuals in the volleyball coaching sphere under 30 years old that are rising in the industry. Brinkman's stint with Ohio began in January of 2022, and she's made an impact in a short amount of time. Sticking with volleyball, we had some TVC Ohio Hawking action last night in the first round of the OHSAA tournament between Belpre and Federal Hawking, which included an incredible milestone for Fed Hawk. While the main focus for the Lancers was to survive and advance, star libero Brentley Cottrell not sure 1,000th career dig, get this, she's just a sophomore. Federal Hawking dominated Belpre in a 3-set sweep, as Lancers will get some much-needed time off before next round's game against Southeastern on Tuesday. That one's at Wellston High School. Let's go ahead and set it back to you.
And still ahead, a prize-winning pumpkin in one part of the country, another on the run. We'll tell you more next.
There's a whole life out there just waiting for you.
I think I don't actually give my therapist enough credit.
I know now that medication is necessary.
You think you can love it out of them, that will fix it. No, it doesn't.
People do overcome having a mental illness.
I am bipolar. This is okay. I'm just me.
Thursday at 9 on WOUB.
Making pennies on the dollar. A recent film school grad speeds through Tokyo on a delivery bike.
奨学金という名の借金もまだ1円も返していないのに俺は稼がなきゃいけない。お母さんも具合悪くなっちゃって。
A comedic but sobering reflection on the inequities of the gig economy. Tokyo Uber Blues on POV.
Monday at 10 on WOUB.
Stop skimming.
Stop scrolling.
Just listen.
100 years ago today, they walked away from the
All you need
in one place.
every afternoon.
Los Angeles. I fell in love with pinball 6 or 7 years ago.
All things considered from NPR.
1 out of every 5 Latino voters who are going to cast a ballot are going to be doing so for the first time in a presidential election.
Latinos will be the decision makers in who becomes the next president of the United States.
We are Cubans and Dominicans and Puerto Ricans and Mexicans and U.S.-born Latinos.
So politicians in America, when they attempt to put Latinos in one block, good luck with that.
Tuesday at 10 on WOUB.
After a long wait, the search for America's best restroom is over. A Maverick gas station near Salt Lake City International Airport claimed the top spot this year. The Maverick chain has more than 380 stations scattered across 12 western states, with its largest concentration in Utah. Cincinnati-based company Cintas has put on the contest for the past 23 years. The company says Maverick's restrooms deserve recognition for their commitment to cleanliness and comfort, with sparkling fixtures, spacious stalls, and fresh amenities. Sadly, no restrooms in Ohio were nominated this year. The last time a bathroom in Buckeye State made a royal flush was in 2021.
A giant-sized competition proves one man is the pound-for-pound pumpkin champ. The winning pumpkin named Rudy weighed a total of 2,400 pounds, and Rudy claimed the grand prize at this year's Safeway World Championship Pumpkin Weigh-Off in California. This is the 4th win for Travis Geinger, the Minnesota native who grew Rudy. The next closest competitor lost only by 6 pounds in what's a pumpkin without a ring to celebrate. Back here in Ohio, big pumpkins are apparently becoming a big problem. In Bay City, which is just outside of Cleveland, officers responded to a report of a runaway pumpkin. Here's the dash cam from police cruisers who find this ginormous jack-o'-lantern blowing across the road. You can see this larger-than-life pumpkin try to squash a police officer and a cruiser. With little assistance, officers got the hefty Halloween inflatable back to its home so it can be scary at a safe distance. Well, guys, I wouldn't want to run into any of those pumpkins, including the big one and the one that hit the car. So I'm glad I wasn't out there on the streets that night.
A guy like me would have turned that into pie.
Really?
Yeah.
I could see it. I could see it. I could definitely see it.
Big pumpkin.
Yeah, it definitely was huge. I wouldn't want to carve that pumpkin either.
No.
If I had that pumpkin, I think it would probably take me like more than an hour to do that. And I'm no artist, so
Imagine
I would
the
not be
mess,
able to do
too.
it.
That'd be a
And the
lot to
mess.
clean up.
That'd be the worst part of all of it. So, yeah.
Yeah, so it's, especially with the pumpkin season around here, we're not really seeing any fall-like weather. We'll be seeing actually a pickup in temperatures for the next week.
That does it for our broadcast this evening. Thanks for watching.
Support for PBS NewsHour is proudly provided by Luke S. Frazier.